Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man the People. How's everybody doing today? Let me make sure that all my levels are right, because I'm not seeing all the information that I normally see on the screen. There we go. All right, yeah, all the levels are good. What's going on, everybody? Hey, it is now officially 2 weeks before I am in Indianapolis, bringing you coverage from Radio Row at the Combine to talk a lot about who the Carolina Panthers may be drafting, what the latest news is, etc. So if you have not done so already, please invite you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, tell a friend, leave a comment, all those good things, right, that us YouTubers, content creators ask for to help our channel continue to grow. Still committed to giving you guys content in the off season. Like I said, I was trying to find my groove. I think I have found it. Got the titles for the show, and we're gonna continue to put out a lot of good content. So, what's going on, man? I don't know how to say this name, so I'm gonna just do this. Hello, because I don't know how to say that name. And Antonio McClanahan with the best message that he puts out there every single time I do a video, which is like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, all that good stuff. So today's show, what's going on, Queens? Queens Yarn Boutique, we're doing well. How are you and your family doing? We're all doing well. Thank you very much. So today's show will be about just cover some of the recent news, as you saw there in the title. Going to be sharing some videos from Twitter so you guys can have some reference. And then we're going to get into talking about this draft, who the Carolina Panthers could get at number 8. Will they still be at number 8? Will they move up? Will they move back, get some more assets? We don't know. But we're going to talk about all those possibilities coming up here in just a second. And now I'm mad that I did not get me anything to drink before the show started. My bad. But I'm not going to get up and do it. I'm going to try to, I probably will have to get up and do it, but I'm going to try to make it through it as much as possible. So let's go ahead and get started with this show. How's everybody been doing, by the way? Everybody good? Did you enjoy that Super Bowl yesterday? Final score, I don't remember. I have to confess that I don't know what the time was, but it was certainly in the fourth quarter. Man, I feel like maybe 10 minutes to go. I was like, this ain't happening. It ain't happening. Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose. Philadelphia Eagles are going to win. So, that was what it was. That was my take. Super Bowl was, if you're an Eagles fan, I'm sure it was a crazy good Super Bowl. If you're just a fan wanting to watch football, you probably thought maybe the first 2 quarters, quarter and a half was good, because they're beating them up. But then after that, it's like, hey, mercy rule, right? So that's kind of how I felt about it. And I don't do this too much as far as talk about, I don't even know what to call it, but I'll just say, like, criticizing or critiquing the Super Bowl, like the social stuff. I'm not good at that. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I get caught up in this kind of world right here, getting older. But I will say this, for me, the halftime show was not that exciting. Let me know what you think if you care to let me know what you think. For me, again, I'm older. I'm not going to say how old I am, but I did not recognize much of this guy's music. And I'm kind of thinking, like, I thought the Super Bowl usually try to get artists to perform at halftime from the city if they can. Like, in Atlanta, you get all those artists. Out in LA, they had all those artists. So in New Orleans, I was thinking maybe we'll have some New Orleans artists. I wasn't expecting Kendrick Lamar. And yeah, so that's all I give you to get off task here. But let me get back on task. Find my notes so we can run through this in the order that I intended to be. So the Carolina Panthers, a couple weeks ago, got rid of, I think, 2 guys, but definitely got rid of their head training guy. His name was Kevin something. He had been with the team quite a long time through several regimes. And they got rid of him. And some fans felt like, well, we do seem to have a lot of crazy injuries, recurring injuries, and things like that going on. So I wonder why this has not been done sooner. So it was done, and they have now found their replacement. So the Carolina Panthers have hired Bills associate trainer Denny Kellington as a team VP of player health and performance. Again, they hire. So for once, we're taking people from Buffalo instead of sending them up there. So our new head of trainers, if you will, is Denny Kellington, technically called the VP of Player Health and Performance. And he worked with Dan Morgan in Buffalo. So there you have it. New trainer for the Carolina Panthers. Continue to move on. So we also had last week the Hall of Fame finalists. That came out last week as the Thursday's honors ceremony, which was hosted by Snoop D-O-double-G. And those Hall of Fame finalists, see if I can get this list in front of me here. Those Hall of Fame finalists were Sterling Sharp, Eric Allen, Antonio Gates, and if you want to be technical, the Carolina Panthers did have some representation. Edge rusher Jared Allen, who played with the team 1 year in 2015. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame. So again, those are your 4 finalists. The smallest class, sheesh, I think in like 15 years. It's a small class, only 4. I know I was watching for a second thinking, okay, so when they come out of commercial break, are they going to announce the rest of the guys? But it wasn't. It was Jared Allen. It was Eric Allen. It was Sterling Sharp and Antonio Gates. Those are your 4 Hall of Famers for the 2025 class. So congratulations to those guys. So what does that mean? That means that guys like Steve Smith, who we're going to talk about a little bit more, he didn't make it. It also means guys like Luke Kuechly didn't make it. But there's a silver lining for one of those 2 guys. That is Luke Kuechly, as he was able to make it to the final 7. And there's been a few rule changes regarding the Hall of Fame that I'm going to talk about, but they cut it down to 7 before they go to their final. Luke Kuechly was part of that 7. So the good news for Luke, what that means is he is now automatically part of the finalists for the 2026 class. So yay, Luke. He was part of the class. But the reason that he didn't make it is because there's this new rule that as they go from 7 to their final, all those guys need to get at least 80% of the votes, which is a very hard number because they've recently been making the Hall of Fame more selective, want to make it more selective, like I just said. So they've made some changes. And one of those changes is how they go from the 7 to having the people vote on them again. That's in the AP and on the committee to get that down to your final group. Luke did make it, but again, the big thing for Luke is he is an automatic finalist for the 2025 Hall of Fame class. So that'll get you up to date on the Hall of Fame class, as well as those for the Carolina Panthers who were Hall of Fame finalists but did not make the final cut. All right, now we're going to get into something interesting. Steve Smith made comments today about something that Cam Newton has said. And Cam Newton, man, everybody has a podcast these days. It's like amazing. But I was going to say he's a college athlete, but he is. But I guess he's now going to be a pro athlete. But everybody has a podcast. So Cam Newton was recently on the Travis Hunter podcast. And if you haven't heard it, I'm going to share it with you because I want you guys to hear it, see it, and then we are going to talk about it. So let me try to not screw this up by getting this on the screen. Bear with me here a second. All right. Did I do that right? I told you to bear with me for a second. Oh, boy. Trying to get there. That's not it. There we go. All right. Thank you for your patience. Here you go.
When I was the first pick, I went into a locker room of losers.
How did you handle the pressure of being the top pick?
Let's put it in perspective. You're the top pick because what?
Where you play?
No. You're looking at it from a personal situation. I'm talking about from the professional situation. You're the top pick because that was the worst team in the NFL the year before. For me, I wanted to be the number one pick. You could potentially be the first pick, but bro, you have no way of impacting the game like a quarterback does. You can lock down the number one receiver. You can make impact plays on offense all you want, but it's still not like a quarterback. My issue is when I was the first pick, I went into a locker room of losers. Guys didn't know how to win. Guys didn't know how to prepare. It was a culture shock for me. The games don't mean a lot to a lot of people in the league like you would expect. It's just money. Not everybody has capabilities to be impact players. They're just players. When I was the first pick, I was perspective.
All right, so you can see there, or hear there, that Cam Newton said he went into a locker room of losers. And I don't know how well you can see this. Try to make it a little bit bigger. That did not work. But essentially, what Steve Smith replied to was 53-man locker room minus 1 equals 52 losers. And he says, wow, breaking news to 89. And then he basically put an upset face. So again, in short, Cam Newton said, when I was drafted, I went to a locker room full of losers. Steve Smith says, wow, breaking news to him. And then further says, I've watched and listened from as far as you, Cam Newton, talk about the Carolina Panthers. None of us are perfect. Yes, we were 2-14 before you blessed us with your presence. The way you have talked about the Panthers lately, I'm very disappointed. I wish you nothing but the very best. I'm done. So, yeah, I mean, that's curious. You know, those watching live right now, what do you think about that? What do you think about Cam Newton's comments? What do you think about Steve Smith's reply? You know, I feel like Cam may have just I think Cam may walk this back. I really feel like Cam will walk this back and maybe just got caught up in the moment of talking about, you know, he went too far and said basically when you're number one pick, you get put into a situation that's not the best. That's clear. But I think he just went a step too far and just saying everybody's losers. Because I just think he got caught up in the heat of the moment. Furthermore, along those lines, you know, so Steve Smith is the one who has come out and said something about those comments. And that year when Cam was drafted, 2012, 2013, 2012, what year was it? It was 2011 that Cam was drafted. By the end of the season, it was actually 3 Pro Bowlers on that team. Cam made it as a rookie. Steve Smith made it. And then Ryan Khalil. So they actually had 3 Pro Bowlers on that team his rookie year. Furthermore, on that roster, specifically, we'll just stick to the offensive side, you also had Jonathan Stewart. You also had Greg Olsen. Those were some of the other guys that you had. And oh yeah, D'Angelo Williams. So you had double trouble. So was Stewart on that team? Yeah, I think Stewart was on that team. Was Stewart on there at that point? Hold on, let me double check. Yeah. So you had double trouble out there. You had Stewart, Williams, Khalil, Steve Smith. So to say that they were a bunch of losers, again, my 2 cents, for what it's worth, if you want to hear it, I feel like he was right in saying like you're going to a bad team, and I just feel like he went into it too far, chilling with his guys and just saying that. And we'll see where it goes, but that was my take. Historically, there's been talk about Steve Smith and Cam Newton, how much they like each other or don't like each other. Man, I remember I had a one-on-one interview with Steve Smith. I tried to find it really quickly before the video now to play it for you, but he commented on Cam and basically said, like, there's no issue there. Like, a lot of times, from what I've seen, Steve has just been a guy that just wants to win and has moments where he's just trying to get that win. He's never been like, oh, I hate you or you suck. Or it's just like a guy that's just wanting to win. And that's where we are now. I see a few comments that have come in. Cam should have kept that comment to himself about losers. And then Knucklehead, yo, first time I've seen you in a while, buddy. Hope all is well with you and the fan. What's up, Knucklehead K? It is the first time in a minute, but you are one of our great supporters. So I'm sure you'll be back and continue to support us. But good to hear you. Good to see you. And then what's going on, Darrell? Good to see you as well. So yeah, those are the Cam Newton comments. And then furthermore, why I think he's going to walk it back and just got caught up in the moment of, again, just saying when you're a #1 draft pick, you don't go into a good situation. The culture is different. Like, I think he said a lot of other things in the regular video about the culture's different. Not all the guys there are really into it too much. Mentioned like some guys, like you're talking like, man, can't wait to go to Miami. And Cam's like, Miami? Like, I'm here to play. I'm here to win. And Cam further one talked about like he just come from like winning national championships 3 years in a row in junior college and 2 in college. And then he comes into this situation. So again, I think he just went too far in telling you the contrast as he was trying to talk to, mine's going blank here, Heisman Trophy winner. See his face and everything. But anyways, he was trying to talk with him about there's a big difference in culture that you get into when you go into the NFL. It's no longer where you have this easy winning type of situation going on. And it's a different culture that you sometimes have to break through as you try to, be a #1 pick that makes an impact on your NFL team. For our city kids, no wonder the Panthers don't invite Cam to Germany. But, while at Radio Row during the Super Bowl, Cam has his show there as well. So, Cam does his show from, I guess, Atlanta most of the time, but he went to New Orleans during the Super Bowl, had lots of people on. And, at one point, Cam had a reunion on his show. Cam had Greg Olsen, Jonathan Stewart, and Ron Rivera on his 4th and 1 show. And they have candid conversations. They talk about things. So, yeah, we'll move on from there. But I want to make sure that I did my job in the media here and inform you of those comments so that now you know. Let's go on with a few other things I want to talk about before we get out of here this afternoon. Speaking of Radio Row, our guy Adam Thielen sat down with Jonathan Stewart and Jake Delhomme to talk more specifically about the Carolina Panthers and coming back. So let me see if I can get this right this time. Looks like I do have it right. Here we go.
Are you coming back? Oh, shoot. I knew this was going to happen. But no, I feel good. I took 2 weeks off and got my energy back, started training already, spent a ton of time with my family, and just kind of thought about how the end of the season went, the progression, the things, the moves that the leadership in this organization are doing. I'm really excited about Bryce and what he was able to do once he got back in the game, and so excited about what the future holds for this organization. I want to be a part of it.
Are you coming back?
Wow. Oh, man. I muted myself. Man, that was a good couple minutes, right? All right. I guess I'm having some off-season rookie moves with the mute. That was probably a good 90 seconds. I would say, how long was I muted, guys? Was it about 90 seconds? But I will definitely go over this again because I remember what all I said. So Adam Thielen there talking about he is coming back with the Carolina Panthers and said that a few weeks ago when he spoke with media in Florida saying that he felt good, he felt like the media ran for that because still at that point he had not definitively decided that he was coming back. And then even said that furthermore, if you had to ask him about, week 15 of the season, week 14, he was probably more so on the I'm getting out of here route, not because of like I'm hating this organization, Bryce isn't the guy or any of that stuff, just mostly the fact that he had gotten pretty beat up this season. He's not one of the younger guys in the league. He's one of the older guys. He's not like a LeBron James 40, but he said that he was probably at that point more so like, yeah, I'm going to be done, going to ride off into the sunset and enjoy the family. But nope, he decided not to do that. He decided to stay with the team, something that I am extremely happy about. And I think it's a really great thing because everybody needs a mentor, whether it's business, whether it's life direction, whether it's whatever. And when you got a guy that has been leading your organization for the past 2 years in yards, and you have a pretty young receiver crew with Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Jatavian Sanders, which is a tight end, but still he's part of that receiver group's catching balls and in that locker room where you get a chance to learn about what they do to make them successful that you could learn on your own, but it may take you a little bit longer if you didn't have that mentor, that guy to watch up close like Adam Thielen. And, last year during the draft, Dan Morgan said he's looking for dogs. We took off with that. We ran with that. And I feel like Adam Thielen is truly one of the bigger dogs on this team. Maybe because he's a persona, maybe because he's a white guy. People just don't go to think about it. I have no clue. But you see this guy on the field, between the lines, he is like chomping the bit at everybody. He loves it when he gets hit. He loves it when he draws a penalty. He'll get in your face. I mean, he is like mean. And he's completely different off the field. One of our guys that got many awards for his community involvement. So I'm glad that he's back. Hope he stays back. And glad that he is coming back. So, and thank you guys for letting me know. Yeah, I didn't know that I was muted, and I'm embarrassed. But I did a very good job of regurgitating that all for you guys. So let's continue to work through this. Got a few more things that I want to get you up to date with. What do we got next? So Bryce Young made a lot of appearances during Radio Row. I'm kind of jealous that I didn't go because I had received my credentials for Radio Row going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And I decided not to go because we're a small company, doesn't really have the resources to go both to the Super Bowl and then go to the Combine. I feel like we'll get some more value out of the Combine. But I feel like I don't know who I may have been able to talk to a lot of these guys, but Bryce made lots of rounds. Good Morning Football, just a lot. Talked with the Panthers. You saw Bryce everywhere. And one thing that I want to share with you guys that I haven't seen making around is Bryce got some good feedback. So here was something that I saw and I want to share. This is from Casey Bushker. And she says, don't think it's talked about enough how respectful Bryce Young is. He came on our set 2 times this week, and after each interview, he shook every person's hand, camera crew, producers, social, all of our crew. Absolute class act and one of the best people, 10 out of 10. So that's Bryce Young as he made his rounds this year at Radio Row. Not surprising here, at the Super Bowl during the week, you got the chance to see Bryce Young with the Teppers. And there's one more clip that I'm going to share with you guys, which was Bryce Young talking with John Gruden about his some football mechanics. So I know a lot of people love this football technical talk, so I'm going to let you guys see this in case you have not seen it.
You know, when you get underneath the center to take a snap, how do you take a snap when you're under the center?
Pretty even. I'm even.
Okay. Well, now you get in the gun, you put that right foot back. And I'll be honest with you, it drives me absolutely crazy.
This is a personal thing. There's like two people who have the right foot.
But I just want to hear, how can you put your right foot back in a gun?
How?
Why? Why do you
great.
do it?
It's easy. So, especially in quick game, it's awesome. So obviously throwing position here, so it's a lot less movement. So you can, if it's up and out quick, you can get one shuffle, you're already there, versus having to.
So it's for the quick game, is
it's
why
a lot
you're
more
done.
efficient. And then, it actually ends up kind of balancing out if you're taking a deeper 7 timing from under, 5-step drop. It kind of evens out where once you get back, you're ended up just taking an under center drop that you're in the same place after you.
But when
take
you
the
have
first
an
step.
out route,
Right.
okay, I'm talking a 12-yard out.
Right.
If you're underneath the center, you're taking a 5-step drop without a hitch.
Right, 100%.
Now, when you get into the gun and you have to convert that setup, now to me, your feet are all completely different.
Full transparency, we don't, you watch the league. It's not that doesn't happen, but it's a lot more. If you got to cater to one, you're doing a lot more of that drop back stuff from the gun. So
Perfect.
It's kind of whatever happens there. And then if you're doing that, you take your step and you're already squared. For me, like fundamentals wise, I'm big on making sure that I can be open to whatever throw. So out to the left, for example, is probably the hardest to stay open to. So if I'm here and now I have to go back and then reopen from the right, it's a lot less efficient, a lot more wasted movement, in my opinion. Just for me, everyone has their own, I think whatever you're most comfortable with is the best. I'm not like a universal fundamental or like footwork guy. But for me, it's a lot less efficient, a lot more wasted movement. If I can already stay here, when I catch the ball, I don't have to cross, I don't have to rearrange my feet, and I'm open because I'm like this. So I can stay down the middle and then take my 5 from under, whatever that timing is, and I can stay here, and now I'm already squared, ready to get here. If I need to get to the right, I can throw like this if I need to, but I can get as much as I'm able to get, and as long as I'm open, I can get there. So if my right foot's back, it's a lot less movement. I'm more in my throwing position from when I get back, and also I've been doing it for a while, so it's where I'm most comfortable.
So there's a little bit of a technical conversation from Bryce. I got to tell you guys, honestly, I'm a little bit jealous because Bryce, when he talks to the national media, definitely down there in New Orleans, you get a different Bryce. That's hard to get here with local media in Charlotte when you're talking to Bryce. And so something like that. I mean, also Gruden has had, some extended time to talk to him to get that kind of rapport with it. But man, your boy is certainly going to be trying. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure. But your boy is definitely going to try to get Bryce one-on-one outside the stadium, so I can get, be able to get him into his element and get some good content like that right there. But again, that's for the people who love the quarterback technical breakdown, mechanic type stuff that I want to share with you that Bryce did during Radio Row down there in the Super Bowl. And, we'll end with this. So again, not the next time you see me, but in 2 weeks from today, I will be in Indianapolis setting up on Radio Row to give you guys a lot of content. So not the Monday, that's just my travel day, but Tuesday and Wednesday in 2 weeks during the Combine, I will be live from Radio Row. So look forward to that. Subscribe, like. I will not go on mute accidentally like I did tonight for 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Usually my phone's blowing up for people to let me know, hey. But I wasn't even looking at the phone, even though I got it right by me to make sure I noticed that. So Dan Morgan recently sat down with Carla Gephardt of, what's this network that she's on? Carolina Sports Live, and talked about the draft. And let's go ahead and share what Dan Morgan's insight is about the upcoming draft.
Let's talk about needs right now. And I know you're probably, got a list of all the things that you want to do this offseason, and you don't want to give away anything either, right? And I definitely understand that. But where are the needs on this roster, at least from a broad perspective of what you can talk about right now and what you're looking for in the players that you're going to bring here?
Yeah, I think, we're going to look to bring, passionate football players first of all, and then we're going to look for playmakers on both sides of the ball. So defensive side, guys that can take the ball away, guys that can affect the quarterback, and then on the offensive side, guys that can make plays, whether, receiver, tight end, guys that could just make big plays. We were kind of missing that element on both sides of the ball this past year, so, we'll attack that. And then, I think on the defensive side, our front, we got to get a little stronger there so we're able to stop the run. But, we're just going to look to get better in every avenue. In every position, we're just going to try to get stronger and create the most competition that we can.
Let's talk about needs right now. And I know you're probably, got a list of all the things that you want to do this offseason, and you don't want to give away anything either, right? And I definitely understand that. But where are the needs on this roster, at least from a broad perspective of what you can talk about right now and what you're looking for in the players that you're going to bring here?
Yeah, I think, we're going to look to bring, passionate football players first of all, and then we're going to look for playmakers on both sides of the ball. So defensive side, guys that can take the ball away, guys that can affect the quarterback, and then on the offensive side, guys that can make plays, whether, receiver, tight end, guys that could just make big plays. We were kind of missing that element on both sides of the ball.
One second, I did not want to come back muted again. So I guess the word this year, we're done with dogs, unfortunately, and now we're off to passionate guys is what he wants. Passionate guys on both sides of the ball, playmakers on both sides of the ball. Certainly want some guys up front, some hog mollies, as Dave Gettleman used to call them, some big bodies up front. You can't help but think about that, especially when you know that the Philadelphia Eagles had the largest offensive line in Super Bowl history. I think they averaged being about 6'6", 350 pounds. I don't know about y'all. I don't want to tell you my weight. I am being in the gym though. I am in the gym. Don't be fooled when you see me at the beach. But those are some tremendously big guys. So everybody knows we have trouble stopping the run. So of course, he can't tip his hat. We're going to have to do our insider news and dig and scrape to get some information about what's likely looking for to take place for the Carolina Panthers. But that's what Dan was willing to give us, so that's what I can report for you for today. I will be back again. I forget my exact schedule this week that I'm going to be doing shows. I got 2 more shows that I will be doing this week. Be on the lookout for them. By the way, it just randomly popped in my head. Xavier Legette, man, this guy's making a lot of commercials. He's definitely taking advantage of the influencer. I think he did some commercials for Reese's that I saw recently. He did another commercial for it, which he had like a boot or like a something thing on. And a lot of people say, hey, what is Xavier doing with that scooter for his leg? Man, commercials take a time to be produced and then put out there. So I'm pretty sure that was something old. He did something for Rallies, the food chain place, and his Old Spice commercials are just interesting. But hey, you only live once. You're not in the league forever. Get all the money that you can. I ain't mad, Xavier. Get your money. That'll be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll see you again shortly this week. I'm Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.